What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another matchup from the Defense 3. I'm B-Ballin, and I am with you again by myself because apparently I have no friends. Now I'm just messing with you guys. I want to bring you casts from other tournaments, but I do want to bring those casts with the dual commentator so I can get the full insight and hopefully get the max entertainment. But Defense 3, we only have one ticket, so I'm going to bring you a solo cast of this matchup, but hopefully very soon in some of these monthly long casting sprees, I'll be able to bring you some dual commentaries very, very shortly. Anyway, we have a matchup between Root Gaming on the Dire side and Absolute Legends on the Radiant. You can see Absolute Legends playing with a host of stand-ins, but I have it on pretty good authority that Miracle is most likely joining AL, and the rest of them I'm not too sure. Bit of drama about Absolute Legends recently about some of the payouts that were not properly paid under the StarCraft 2 administration or something like that, but Samology on the Dota 2 subreddit has addressed everything, and it's been confirmed that the Absolute Legends Dota subdivision has been run very, very smoothly, so shouts to Samo. And hopefully Mania, who I consider one of the unluckiest players in Dota 2 at the moment in regards to team formation. Hopefully he'll be able to get a strong team going because I know Mania is a fan favorite with many people, myself included, and he's definitely one of the nice guys in the Dota community. Root Gaming, on the other hand, they traveled to Sweden with three stand-ins. Korea and Monkeys were the only players on Root Gaming who were able to travel to Sweden for the Fragbite Thor Open LAN finals. They didn't perform too well, but their sponsor, I think it's Root Cats, expressed that he will stick with his team through good times and bad times, so shoutouts to him. But anyway, this is match in Defense 3, so hopefully this matchup will be very, very exciting. You can see pretty standard picks and bans going on. NA is going to be the first pickup by Root Gaming because Batrider is out of the picture. Monkeys loves playing that bat ever so much. And meanwhile, Absolute Legends, I'll be interested to see what they pick up. Darkseer could definitely be a very powerful hero in this situation. Jakiro for that support capacity, although he has been sort of losing favor to Keeper of the Light, who is just a bit more annoying to deal with as support, has that Illuminate can constantly refill mana and can teleport the carry around while the carry is AFK farming, so if the carry needs to get back into a team fight, Keeper of the Light is there to fulfill all your needs. So Absolute Legends, it'll be interesting to see what they pick up, and also it'll be interesting to see how they'll use their lineup. Miracle, known for his support play, but can definitely play in different capacities. I know in Dota 1 he was mostly used for support, and CLG is mostly used for support in the 4 position and the 1 through 5 system. But I saw a couple Dota 1 games where Miracle was, I think, 2 or 3 position, but that remains to be seen here. Meanwhile, Darkseer is going to be the first pickup for Absolute Legends here. Like I predicted, Darkseer still very versatile here on Shell, will definitely drain through that Nyx Assassin charge, at least for the Darkseer instance, and although it will stun Darkseer for 2.4 seconds, hey, it won't do too much damage. Meanwhile, Rubik is going to be the second pickup for AO, so picking pretty versatile, pretty stable heroes thus far. Nothing too out of the ordinary here by AL. They probably just want to do pretty well in this group and try to solidify their lineup. I don't know if they're really necessarily expecting to do too well at the Defense 3, but they just really want to get a solid lineup together, try to be stable, and get some practice in, because Dota 2, it's only going up and up. Get on that Dota 2 train, everybody, because that shit's about to roll out. Meanwhile, Luna is going to be the pickup by Root Gaming, probably the most favorable carry in this version, although it's pretty funny because so far in all the matches I've casted recently, Luna has not been winning. So it indicates that Luna's a very powerful hero, but maybe a bit overrated. Maybe teams don't know how to use her properly unless they really practice with her. She's not one of those carries you can just plug into a lineup and just say, alright, GG, we win. She definitely is one of those very balanced carries who does have a lot of nuking power, does have early game potential, does have late game potential, but needs sort of a team that can synergize well with their talents in order to make the most of it. So we'll see if Root Gaming decides to go for a bit more of a late game oriented strategy, or if they go for an early game strategy with something like a Chen or Enchantress to really take advantage of that Lunar Blessing and get that push going before AL can respond. But keep in mind as well that this is only 2 picks in, so there's still a lot of picks and bans to go through. So yeah. Root thinking low and hard. I think Keeper of the Light probably going to be the pickup here. I'm not too sure how Root Gaming likes to use Keeper of the Light, but he's probably the best support still left in the pool, as well as Jakiro. So out of those two supports, probably going to be the strong pickup here. Um, they synergize pretty well with NA. They both are pretty long range. Luna, of course, very ranged and very fast, but Shouty is going to be the choice here. For Root, a bit better at bursting down targets with the Lucent Beam and with the NA bonus damage. Doesn't have the AoE like a Keeper of the Light, but Shadow Demon, of course, very versatile support, and that Soul Catcher will just allow those nukes to just compound on one of those heroes. So even with a Pipe or with Rubik Nullfield stacked at maximum, a target with Soul Catcher will absolutely melt against the Root Gaming lineup. So definitely not an unexpected support, although I did not mention it in the category of the Jakiro or the Keeper of the Light. Meanwhile, AL, they have their off-lane hero who could potentially go in the mid lane. Darkseer very capable at doing that, but they are going to pick up Templar Assassin for their mid lane. TA has definitely sort of died down as a top 3 pick, but definitely still a very powerful hero. Even though our Refraction mana cost has been nerfed slightly to 100 mana, she is a bit easier to deal with. Teams have sort of figured out how to play against her a bit better, but she's definitely still a very powerful laner. And right now, I'm not too sure how Root will contest her in the mid lane. Darkseer, one of the best TA counters, is on Absolute Legends squad, and Absolute Legends going to start banning out heroes who fare quite well against the TA. Leshrac Diabolic Edict removes a lot of TA's refraction charges right off the bat. And Root, they're going to ban out potential jungler heroes like the Enigma. They know Mania does like to jungle. Miracle, definitely a capable support who can jungle. So I guess they're going to ban out junglers here. Probably start banning out other trialing supports as well. The thing about this patch is that you can pretty much pick any carry you want. Nyx, Clinks, Phantomancer, Void, Anti-Mage, Luna. The list goes on and on, so it's really difficult to say which carry should ban. But Root is going to ban out the Lifestealer Nyx here. I guess they really want to focus on bursting down the carry as soon as possible with that Soul Catcher, NA, and Luna combination. And Nyx is one of those heroes who just says, lol, press Q, or press R for rage, and just sort of avoid that situation altogether for 6 seconds. Nyx also one of the better laning carries, Open Wound's ridiculous slow time, and Infest in conjunction with something like a Darkseer Vacuum can just blow people up. So not too unsurprising, and Root's going to ban out the Lone Druid as well. Not too sure if Absolute Legends would have picked up the Lone Druid. I don't think they really like to play Lone Druid. I don't see any noticeable Lone Druid players on their team, but I guess Root just really doesn't want to play against that. Meanwhile, AL banning out potential support slash team fight heroes. They know that if the Soul Catcher Luna Eclipse combination goes down, Absolute Legends will be in a world of hurt if they allow more team fight heroes to go through. Their lineup really centers around ganking and causing chaos at the moment. They could definitely pick up team fight heroes for themselves, but Root has the first pick, so they could pick up heroes like Enigma and other heroes like that. But Enigma already out of the picture, so all the major teamfight heroes already gone, aside from something like a Brewmaster, who does not fare that well against TA in the mid lane. Although Drunken Days can definitely make things happen. Meanwhile, AL gonna continually ban out supports, even though I think Root's trialing is pretty much set. So maybe they're expecting NA mid, maybe they're expecting a dueling of Shadow Demon and something mid. That's definitely a possibility. But I think the trialing is pretty much set, as Root's going to pick up a Gyrocopter as well. Rocket Barrage, one of the first counters to TA's Refraction other than Batrider that we've seen in the professional scene. Root loves playing that Gyro. Korea definitely one of those guys who made Gyro very, very popular. I'm not really too sure why Gyro is so high on many teams lists like No Hunter or on Root, but he's definitely a very, very strong hero if he gets enough farm. The problem is, he needs to get that farm in order to really maximize his damage output. Pretty easy to gank, but if he does get his farm going, he's an absolute monster in teamfights. And can definitely give heroes like Templar Assassin, Rubik, and Darkseer a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, I'm expecting AL to pick up their secondary support here, maybe a Roamer. I think Chen and Enchantress still in the picture, but Shadow Fiend's going to be the choice here. So Shadow Fiend most likely going to be in the safe lane position, I'm imagining. TA in the mid lane, and I guess they're going to do an offensive. No, they're going to do Darkseer off lane, Shadow Fiend, Rubik, safe lane, and maybe have a Roamer, a jungler. I think Chen and Enchantress would be a solid choice in this situation. But maybe they don't want to use that. Maybe they're going to get more unstaring Roamer. Maybe something like an Earthshaker or a Vengeful Spirit. Mania definitely loves those roaming heroes, can definitely play them very, very well. Venomancer could definitely also be a possibility here. But AL picking up the Shadow Fiend right now. So they're going for mid-game dominance, and Shadow Fiend definitely one of those carries that gets underestimated in the late game. Definitely can put the hurt on when it comes down to it.
10 seconds remaining.
Meanwhile, Root, they're picking up their offlane hero in the form of Bounty Hunter. It's such a difference now that we see Bounty Hunter being last picked than we see him being first picked or first banned. But Bounty Hunter has definitely fallen off the wagon a little bit. Not really because of the track armor nerf, but more because teams have just figured out how to deal with them a bit better. Track's still ridiculously powerful spells, so if Root get off to a good start, then Track will keep them there. And Track in conjunction with heroes like Gyrocopter with NA, who won't really get that much farm in the tri lane, but definitely benefits a lot from Track. And NA and Bounty Hunter are one of the most feared ganking duos in all of Dota. Can definitely just instantly kill anybody they set their mind to. Not really the tankiest heroes on AL side either, aside from Darkseer. So I think Bounty Hunter, pretty solid pickup here. He will have to watch out for the telekinesis lifting him back into tower range, but other than that, he should be okay. And we are going to see Earthshaker, and please let it be a Mania Earthshaker. It's been a while since we've seen Mania really, really play Sand King or Earthshaker. Mania, one of those Dota 1 players, always very consistent, very unsung, but really one of the nicest guys. So if we see him play one of his trademark heroes like Earthshaker or like Sand King, it'll be an absolute treat to see that back into Dota 2, and hopefully we'll continue to see like that, and so far, might see a Mania Shaker, as we just gotta see who Miracle is gonna pick. But yeah, Root, they have strong mid-game, strong late-game, strong ganking presence, don't really have the best push slash counter push, but I don't think AL is gonna push necessarily. So I think Root's lineup is overall pretty versatile, as we take a look at the players and the teams. Gonna have Mania playing that Earthshaker, yes! This is some nostalgia right here. Earthshaker being played by Mania. Meanwhile, Crit is going to be playing that Templar Assassin, Miracle is going to be playing the Rubik, is playing the Shadow Fiend, and Dive It playing the Darkseer. If he doesn't dive past 1 or 2 towers during the course of this game, then he should just change his name forever. Meanwhile, on Root's side, we're going to have Korea playing the Gyrocopter, one of his favorite heroes. Going to have Monkeys playing the Luna, Fox Plox playing the Bounty Hunter, Taku is playing the Nubian Assassin, and Fun is playing the Shadow Demon. Anyway, it looks like they're discussing what server they're playing on. It is Luxembourg or something like that. I'm not too sure, but I honestly don't really care what server they're playing on. Hopefully we'll get more LAN tournaments that teams can fly out for, but the unfortunate part of having a Dota 2 team is that it costs 5 times as much to send out one player to get them hotel room accommodations to pay for food and all that, so until a lot more money gets pumped into the Dota 2 scene, not going to see as many sort of international lands other than TI3 and maybe like other big lands like DreamHack, and hopefully some more Chinese lands if teams can get visas or permission, but who knows. But anyway, that's another matter entirely. So Floxpox is going to be playing the bottom lane Bounty Hunter. Korea is going to play mid-solo Gyrocopter with the help of Fun. That Soul Catcher in the Rocket Barrage literally will instant kill anybody, even if it's a TA with a couple of refraction charges. Soul Catcher and Rocket Barrage is probably the most fearful thing ever. And rest assured, Korea will be maxing that Rocket Barrage probably by 7 in this scenario, just so they can utilize that combination to its fullest. Definitely an extremely scary combination. And looks like we're going to have a roaming Taku. They are not fearing the Darkseer on the top lane. Knows that Luna, very, very fast move speed, and is just outside the Darkseer Iron Shell harass. Can definitely handle herself as the Impaled just barely manages to catch Crit on just the tip. But it looks like the Charlie going to migrate back top, doing a bit of harassment. And Darkseer is definitely one of those heroes you don't want to have any experience, because if he gets experience, he just becomes an absolute nuisance in team fights. And right now, Darkseer is going to get a decent amount of experience, going to do some creep pulls, and Taku's just going to have to take it like a man. Or like an NA. An armor-plated bug. As the cloud comes in, hurting Taku for a bit, I'm sure Dive It is quite happy with that exchange. Meanwhile, we're seeing Shadow Demon just rolling around Fun, not really too sure which lane to stay in. Korea most likely wants to get as much experience as possible. So Fun, probably going to cast Disruption and Soul Catcher, but now Darkseer is level 2. He does have the Surge, so the chain stunts will have to be timed perfectly, and even if they are timed perfectly, it's going to really come down to the Soul Catcher and the Lucent Beam damage. So Hopefully Darkseer will fall in this tri lane if you are a Root fan, but I'm not too sure if he will now that he is level 2. They don't really have the longest duration in terms of chain stuns. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, I missed my first blood. First time in a while, but Xiaofeng, with the help of Earthshaker, some Sentry Wards, and Rubik, able to kill the poor, unfortunate bounty hunter. Not going to be hunting bounties for quite a bit, as he's going to make his way slowly back to the bottom lane. That Sentry Ward nicely placed, and this is how you deal with bounty hunter. You just Sentry Ward. So that's why we don't see bounty hunter nearly as much as it looks like Korea going to initiate on crit, just doing some harassment. Rocket Barrage, pretty cheap in terms of mana, and pushing the creep wave as well, so trying to get access to that rune, which is on the top lane, but here comes Miracle. Gonna roam all the way back around. Darkseer is gonna be fine in his lane, but Miracle just trying to sap some experience. Is he gonna do a mid lane pull? No, he's just gonna stay around for a little bit. But the Rain Courier was sniped. Nicely done by Korea, as he managed to kill that mid lane courier. Crit is going to take a bunch of damage. Is that a bait? Not too sure, as Miracle did transition back to the bottom lane. So Korea is going to be SOL for a bit. Can't bottle Crow. Doesn't have map control. And Korea is going to have regen. And Korea is doing a magnificent job outlaning Templar Assassin in the mid lane. And this is one of the original counters to TA. But we haven't seen him around nearly as much because we haven't seen TA nearly as much. But Korea just definitely playing this matchup to perfection at the moment. Korea is just having a miserable time. Surprised he didn't try to kill one or more of those creeps, but he does have that illusion rune in the bottle. Bounty Hunter desperately trying to seek out any experience he can possibly get. Level 2, needs that level 6 ASAP, but meanwhile Darkseer is struggling similarly, is level 3, so able to stay in lane a little bit longer, but now that the Trilon has ensconced itself into that top lane, Darkseer is going to be a little bit unlucky in how he can get experience now. And NA looks like he's saving onto a skill point, probably going to put it eventually into Spike Carapace, but not yet devoting it, might use it for mana burn if they need that extra burst damage. Here comes Fun, not going to use a disruption just yet. He is going to use a disruption, and the Soul Catcher. Here comes the Impale, timed beautifully, and the mana burn was just skilled. Here comes Lucent Beam, nicely done by Root. I didn't think they had the requisite chain stuns to kill him, but Taku catching him the instant that he stepped out of that disruption, managed to play that to perfection. But meanwhile on the bottom lane, Earthshaker not even in the picture. It looks like Xiaofeng picked up a solo kill on the bounty hunter just through the merits of harassment and through raises. So nicely done by Unicorn XOXO. Not too sure that is, but definitely well played.
Double damage.
But yeah, this Raiden bottom lane is going to have to do a lot of work because their other T lanes I do think are losing at the moment. So that's definitely not something you want to have happen if you're a Mania or an Absolute Legends fan. As we can take a look at the early game experience and goal graph. Definitely nothing to write home about just yet, as it's less than 1k advantage on both sides, and slight gold advantage for the Dire, and slight experience advantage for the Rain. So really nothing to write home about, as this will easily be overcome within the next 30 minutes or so. If the game lasts that long, who knows? Gonna speed up the clock a little bit. Luna probably gonna go for the traditional Tranquil into Drums build that we see so often on Luna these days. Just making her an absolute speed demon, as Go is called by Korea, so time to reduce that. Often gyrocopters like to go for drums as well, so I'm gonna see. It's gonna be interesting to see how Korea switches this up. I know Korea does play mid-solo gyro a decent amount of time, but I haven't actually seen it in action, so I'm not too sure what item ability he likes to go for. But I guess we're going to find out this game, because he's controlling his lane very, very nicely. Crit is going to take a bunch of damage. He is definitely going to take the fall, trying to meld out of there, but does die due to the Dire Sentry Ward. Nice gank by NA and Shadow Demon, keeping their own party down. Definitely trying to keep their lanes going. Not that the bottom lane has been pretty much lost, but they are winning the other two lanes. So nice roaming by Root, as they have managed to even up the kill score and have won 2 of their lanes at the very least. And at the very least, they're giving Korea and Monkeys relative free farm. Meanwhile, here comes the ganking duo, as unfortunately Darkseer does not have any vision now that the creeps have died. So he's going to have to play very, very carefully. Fun does have enough mana for his combination, and he does have enough mana for his Impale and Mana Burn. Interestingly enough, just going to skip level 2 of Impale, costs too much mana, and instead going to put a point into Spike Carapace. But level 2 of Impale, I mean, does cost 20 more mana, and every bit of mana on NA is so precious. As Miracle gonna try to help out in the mid lane, does want to regain some of the map control. As here comes Fun, does get the disruption and Soul Catcher. Impale is gonna be timed. Here comes the Mana Burn as well. Lucent Beam gonna fly in very, very shortly, trying to get the last hit, but Shao Demon does pick it up. As Iron Shell trying to do a bit of residual damage to Taku, but Root with their ganking squad, Shao Demon definitely one of the most feared early game gankers in the game, and this is why. As here comes the missile, gonna fly in, hit crit for a little bit of damage. But so far, Root has done a nice job securing 2 of their lanes at the very least. And again, Bounty Hunter doesn't really need too many items, he just needs level 6. And considering how much experience and gold that the supports on the side of Root are getting just from these ganks, once Bounty Hunter hits level 6, the supports on Root will just be filthy rich because they have been ganking so hard if they manage to pick themselves up a couple track kills. But first, Bounty Hunter does have to hit level 6, which he is nowhere close to doing, as Unicorn XOXO controlling the lane very, very nicely. Are they going to push it in? Have yet to see any really remarkable Mania fissure blocks just yet, but I'll keep my eye out on you, Mania. Hopefully you won't disappoint. But so far, Root playing this very, very well, and in terms of just raw late game matchup, I do think Root does have the advantage. Shao Demon, very, very powerful late game support. NA definitely scales because Mana Burn does scale, but here comes the push. Gyrocopter Luna and Bounty Hunter all scale very, very well as well. You know, heroes like Earthshaker definitely fall off a little bit. So we'll see if AL gives Mania a bit more farm, try to pick up Fast Blink Dagger, try to get themselves back in game. As Taku's going to be here to reinforce, going to get Telekinesis up in the air, as well as Fissured. Raises are going to be cancelled, as looks like the Fable does fly in. NA is going to be just fine, but here comes a wraparound by Fun and Kriya. They're going to smoke around. Looks like AL has no idea this is coming. Shout Poison to scout it out. Missile going to fly in. Call Down going to clean up 1 kill at the very least. Here comes the disruption onto Shadowfeed, and Shadowfeed's going to be in a world of hurt. Going to try to take 1 with him. Does pick off Fun. Nicely done by Unicorn XOXO as he's trying to juke into the trees, trying to escape to the best of his ability, but he does take the fall and even wasted 135 gold on that TP. So nice counter gank by Root, picked up 2 kills to defend their tower. All they lost was a Shadow Demon, definitely worth it. And they killed the carry. What more can you ask for in life other than, I guess, a 7.5 minute team wipe? Which might be a bit unreasonable considering the stage of the game, but Root definitely taking it to AL at this point. Definitely giving AL a lot of problems with their ganking power because they definitely have the stronger gankers at this point. And their gankers are going to become only more and more powerful as this game goes on. Bounty Hunter able to pick up 2 levels in that engagement. Monkey's getting absolute freedom. Going to get the Midas to boost his experience and gold intake. And he's just going to spiral out of control if he remains unattended, as Dive can't even handle himself in the solo lane against this Luna anymore. Meanwhile, Flox. Such a weird name. It's just like Flox Pox, but Flox Plox. Too many L's. Yeah, and I got nothing. I thought I was gonna make a joke right there, but I got nothing. Like, what joke can you do with the letter L? Not too much. Not too much. So I'm just gonna say that's a weird name, and you should feel weird about it, Flox Plox. Is the missile gonna fly in? Oh, it does take the fall. How unfortunate for that gyrocopter missile. But it did its job. Helped crit stay out of the lane. But meanwhile, the bottom tier 1 tower does die as well. Gonna give Shadowfiend a nice bit of gold bounty. Radiant did pick up the all kill on that. So everybody gonna get a bit of additional gold rather than Shadowfiend picking up the huge bounty right there. As Shadowfiend gonna go straight BKB. Fissure gonna fly in, trying to pick up the NA. They do successfully kill the NA as Mania with the Fissure. NA was just out of position. Nothing too remarkable just there. Unfortunately, my camera scrolls a little bit. Unable to catch that in the fullest, but Bounty Hunter has hit level 6. Meanwhile, Root does still have a kill advantage, so expect Bounty Hunter to start roaming in conjunction with that Shadow Demon and the NA. Is NA level 6? Almost level 6, so I think once NA starts hitting level 6, the 2 Invisibros just gonna tear the opponent a new one very, very soon. Rubik level 4, checking out the levels. Mania level 5, but other than that, the supports on the side of the range struggling very, very hard. Darkseer level 6 just forced to run around aimlessly for a little bit, it appears like. Probably going to pick up boots right about now, as he does have 2 points in Surge, 3 points in Iron Shell. Not going to put that 2nd point in Vacuum, just trying to survive. Try to pick up as much experience, because Vacuum really just for a team fight spell at this point. Won't really be able to kill the Luna. And Luna's just absolutely dominating this free farm. Already has a Yasha and Hannah minus 10 minutes in. trying to last hit every single creep, getting 70 last hits by a 10-minute mark. This is pretty much the optimal farm you can get. As looks like Miracle is invis, going to telekinesis career back up, but the missile's going to be casted on Rubik. Call down going to be used as well, and the Soul Catcher means the end of Miracle's life. So AL getting pretty much massacred in these small scale engagements. And I think they realize that they might be outclassing the gang party. They might just want to farm up a bit, and they definitely have strong mid-game DPS in the form of Templar Assassin and the Shadow Fiend. But it's going to take a lot of work. And what does Mania have up its sleeve? Not even level 6, definitely struggling quite a bit. Checking out the GPM, Luna not yet at the 500 GPM mark, but keep in mind this is very early on. The GPM doesn't really start spiraling out of control until around the 15-20 minute mark, where more creeps are starting to spawn, and the jungle really can start being cleared down very, very quickly due to the DPS items that Luna will no doubt acquire. As here comes a wraparound gank, no bounty hunter in sight, is just going to stay there, but here comes two Radiant supports. They are smoked up. This might be a bit of a trap as Darkseer is doing a nice job baiting. There is an Observer Ward. They're playing on the Darks. They're playing on the Observer Ward beautifully. They are going to catch Root out of position. Looks like Taku is going to be vendetted in. They're going to try to kill Phonic. Soul Catcher's on Mania. It looks like Fun is going to survive for a little bit. Monkey's going to use his Eclipse, killing nobody. It looks like Fun does take the fall. Unicorn does get hasted in with the Surge, but going to get blocked a bit by the Darkseer, unintentionally helping to save this life of Taku. But Root unable to pick up the gank on that exchange, and meanwhile Shaofi going to try to push down the top tier 1 tower. So looks like AL trying to regain a bit of momentum on their side. Can they push down the tower? Floxplox is in position, but I think they can. Monkey's Eclipse is on cooldown, so they don't really want to take a team fight at this point, I don't imagine. Meanwhile, Crit just continuing to farm up, trying to regain some of his lane control, trying to go straight BKB, interestingly enough, rather than anything like a Blink Dagger. I think he knows that Root has strong gankers and perhaps a better counter gankers, Bounty Hunter or NA could just be hiding the woods if Crit decides to initiate, so just going straight BKB, and nothing on the side of Root other than Purge goes through BKB, so BKB definitely will give AL a huge advantage in these sorts of engagements where a lot of burst damage is being thrown around. So AL making really smart item decisions, just going all out BKBs at this point. Meanwhile, Mania has finished the Arcane Boots. Can they get a fissure block on somebody? Fluxplox just running back and forth aimlessly, not really sure what to accomplish. Can't gank anybody, because 4 are up top and meanwhile TA is mid. But if he goes to try to gank the TA, they're just going to push it on the tower, especially since Eclipse is on cooldown. But Monkey's just continuing to farm up very, very quickly. Gonna have 100 CS relatively soon. NA is gonna Vendetta in. Do the Radiant have a Sentry Ward? I do not think so, as here comes the engagement. Korea gonna get vacuumed in place. Echo Slam gonna be dropped as well. Huge place by Darkseer and Mania, as Korea's gonna take the fall very, very shortly. Unicorn XO taking a bunch of burst damage, but he does cast the Requiem and a full-on team wipe against Root. Beautifully done by Absolute Legends. That vacuum, what level was it? Darkseer did take the fall, was, I think, probably level 1 after those kills, and he just leveled up. So, level 1 vacuum, still making its mark. Not the biggest cast range, not the biggest AoE, but still able to clean up the side of Root, who just clumped up a small choke point. Not favorable for Root, allowed Darkseer, even with the level 1 vacuum, because I think he hit level 8 during that engagement, after the kills were secured. But maybe not. Maybe I'm just mistaken, but definitely not the choke point that Root was hoping for. And they saw what happens when you go against Darkseer and Earthshaker. And that's going to give AL a nice boost of momentum, as that's going to slow down Monkey's farm, going to slow down Korea's farm. And meanwhile, keep in mind, Crit was just farming all the while. Vacuum going to try to suck Korea back in. Can they get the trap going? Cooldown's going to be used as well. Cooldown, 50-second cooldown. But Korea is going to take the fall. No, just running away. Gyrocopter, very high base movement speed. One more hit going to mean the end of the life of Korea. He is going to take the fall. NA trying to get the last hit, but actually mispathed a bit. That Dotu pathing too strong, as looks like Unicorn XO does have the BKB finish. Going to get some raises to clean up Taku in the mid lane, and AL getting a huge boost of momentum at this point. Definitely did not see that coming, but definitely taking advantage of Root's over aggressive nature. And now Monkeys, oh no, Monkeys run. He's gonna be okay. 445 baseline speed. He doesn't even have drums. So this is definitely what AL wants to have happen. Gold grab spiraling, taking a huge jump in favor of AL. They've cleaned up 2 towers, getting themselves a kill advantage. Experience graph spiraling up towards them as well. So AL trying to regain some of the momentum. And meanwhile, Earthshaker only about 800 gold away from finishing that dagger. If Earthshaker manages to get some early kills, he only has 7 CS, but he gets some early kills. He can get that 20-minute blink dagger, and I think all the teams that Mania plays Shaker on it sort of plays similar to a Pinoy team when they had Earthshaker. That is to say, they always want to have the Earthshaker blink dagger by around the 25-minute mark at the very least, which I think is the right way to play Shaker. Otherwise, his ultimate just starts dropping off in effectiveness. So I definitely think giving Shaker enough farm is the right way to go about it. You know, I imagine Crit pretty close to picking up his BKB. He is going to have his BKB very, very soon. And Root picking up the invisibility and checking out the levels at this point. You can see Root starting to fall behind, but I do think they still have the better late game. And Monkeys is continuing to farm, only has died once, 104 CS with the minus, checking out the GPM at this point. Still hasn't broken that 500 per or 500 gold per minute mark, but still on top of the net worth tab, as he is farming very, very well. Meanwhile, Korea, I wonder if he's going straight BKB. No, just going to pick up a Yasha, try to increase his move speed, as he has the drums on his team. Meanwhile, Flox unable to get too many track kills, so that's definitely hurting Root a bit. If you're a bounty hunter on your side and you have no track kills by around the 17-minute mark, it's not going to be a good game for you, as he relies so heavily on those track kills for items for himself. Otherwise, he just pretty much becomes useless. I mean, his team wants to farm, but bounty hunter doesn't really want to farm. He just wants to farm heroes, as it's going to be a tower trade. Monkeys does pick up the last hit, but they're exchanging it for Xiaofeng last hit, and Xiaofeng can definitely outpush the side of Root. Root, I think they're just going to force to give up this tower. Cooldown's going to be used very defensively, but it's not going to be there for the team fight. Just going to use to blow up the creep wave. You know, Radiant still have a glyph to go on, so if they want to defend this tower, they could pop the glyph and all teleport down to the bottom lane. Darkseer doesn't have a teleport scroll. Xiaofeng is going to get in position to defend this. Are they going to use the glyph? They should probably use it. They are going to use it. Mania only about 250 gold away from finishing that dagger. Meanwhile, Xiaofeng going for that straight up Shadow Blade. And ever since Shadow Blade got that 30% attack speed, definitely not a laughing stock of an item anymore. So useful for carries like Dragon Knight and Xiaofeng, just because that attack speed is so useful for them. As I am starting to lose control of my words, so I'm just gonna calm down, take a breath, try to compose myself. And I think in case any of you are wondering, the main reason why I'm doing this one cast a day thing for all of January is mostly to try to focus on improving my casting, because I think my casting was lacking a bit, and I think the best way to do that is through constant practice. But what is not good is if Monkeys does take the fall, he is going to escape Monkeys so fast with Luna's base movement speed with that Yasha as well. And Root's done a nice job not letting anybody picked off, just trying to farm up. Again, I do think they have the better late game, but do they have the better mid game? Not really, since Bounty is unable to make anything happen. And considering Mania is going to dagger up very, very shortly, this mid game might become very, very brutal for Root very, very quickly. As NA Vendetta was just used, can they find a Shadow Feet in the forest? Does have a BKB, not the target they were looking for, but they might be the target that they have to go for. Trying to get the kill. Track, they are going to pick up the kill, going to try to get in Shadow Feet's bounty. But he's going to use a Shadow Blade. Track was not used, but no, Track was used, but dispelled by the BKB. Nicely done by Unicorn XOXO. And they're going to pick up 2 kills in return, trying to kill Flox as well. They do so successfully. So you gank Unicorn XOXO. Get ganked, son. And again, Bounty Hunter just having a miserable time in this game. Nice usage of the Xiaofeng to pop that BKB to dispel the Track. And using that Shadow Blade to escape in the nick of time. Not only reducing the base movement speed of everybody else because of the Track boost, but also just rendering himself invisible so he can't be hit. But meanwhile, Monkeys and Korea have been farming up. Monkeys has finished the BKB. Korea, what you got? You got the Yasha, probably going to go for BKB soon as well. I don't think Root has seen the dagger yet on Mania, but considering how much he's farmed, I'm sure if they see it happen, it won't be too unexpected. Meanwhile, Miracle going very, very aggressive, picks up a straight up gem after boots. Pretty old school Beastmaster play, as the fish is going to fly in. Monkeys gonna explode in a blaze of glory, Requiem right to the face. Did not enjoy that in the least. As Monkeys took the fall, unable to use BKB in this top tower without the help of Luna is going to be under a lot of pressure. I don't know if Root can defend this without Luna. They're going to have to try. Meanwhile, Flox again, just having a miserable time stacking Ancients for Luna and trying to sap some experience when she respawns, but they are going to give up a tier 2 tower, as looks like Korea going to get engaged in the mid lane. He's going to take the fall as well. Trap in conjunction with that on Shell. And this is why I think Gyrocopter a bit overrated, as he has no escape mechanism other than his 315 base movement speed, as he just dies in instant. So AL playing very sharp at this point. The gold graph and experience graph definitely show the swing in momentum as Fun. You're scouted out by the trap, bro. You're gonna see, he's seen going into the trees, but he is gonna escape. Nicely done by Fun. But again, wasting 135 gold that he desperately needs. So recently, been casting a lot of games where teams with the quote-unquote overpowered heroes like NA, like Bounty Hunter, like Luna, have just not been able to sort of make things happen. Of course, AL has some quote-unquote overpowered heroes like Darkseer, like Rubik, but I think on the tier list at the moment, NA and Luna, and probably higher than them at the moment. So it's pretty cool to see all these strategies being used to try to sort of reset the equilibrium of the tier list, as these Ancients just going to be given up. Huge bounty being obtained by Korea, but again, just going to make up some of the bounty that they lost in dying. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool to see all these different heroes being utilized to sort of break the mold of all these heroes just becoming more and more powerful, as AL are going in blind, only going to use traps, but the trap is going to spot out everybody on the side of Root, and they must know that AL's nearby. The trap has a 2k cast range, but a very sneaky Observer Ward being planted by the Rubik, and AL just going to steal right from underneath Root's nose. Root just must be absolutely stunned, as Taku going to try to pick up kill on Diet, but Bounty Hunter is so low in terms of the damage output, unable to pick up the kill, and actually Darkseer going to go back in. Flox actually going to teleport out of there, but Blinken Fissure by Mania going to try to pick up the kill, but Taku should be able to escape successfully. He does so, but again, wasting gold, wasting time, just because they don't have the damage to clean up Darkseer too quickly. Meanwhile, Mania 4-0 and 6, Shalfin 7-1 and 2. But we're going to try to split push, trying to regain some of the map control, but Darkseer by himself should be enough to try to slow down the assault. Only one tier 2 tower remains for Root. That middle tier 2 tower is all that remains from them and their tier 3 towers, and perhaps even a Rex. And considering Root have not picked up a kill until around like the 8-minute mark, as Mania blinks in with an Echo Slam, trying to catch off Korea, but a nice split by Root, going to try to save them, as TA going to blink in as well. Korea does take the fall. Requiem himself is going to be chilling, going to catch Fun on just the tip, as he's going to be slowed. Crit is going to get purged, going to pop BKB, going to prevent that Impale and Lucid Beam being casted, and Crit is going to escape successfully. They use 2 ultimates, Requiem, and a couple BKB charges, but they are going to retreat with everybody intact. Oh no, Miracle might give up his life to try to see that everybody escapes successfully. Will he drop the gem and try to kill it? That's a real question, as he's going to juke out, but Korea does a nice job snagging the invisibility rune. Miracle is going to take the fall, going to give up the gem. So, really good change of events for Root. They lost 2 heroes in that engagement, I think. 1 hero, I think. Oh wow, they did lose 2, but Korea bought back. And I guess they got a gem, and they're going to get a tier 1 tower, but Korea buying back definitely going to slow down his progress in this game. But still, they got the gem, prevented the racks from being taken. But can they actually clean up the tier 1 tower? It looks like AL has other things in mind. Vacuum, but Mania's going to get absolutely blocked. Fissure not able to be flying in, as Eclipse is going to be used on Divet. Divet's taking a bunch of damage, but it looks like the Soul Catcher was a little bit too late on the offensive. Shadow Demon does take the fall, but that Darkseer Purge did tick in, killing the Darkseer. Earthshaker going to clean up Bounty Hunter in the meanwhile, as if Luna dies, they're going to get the gem right back. Darkseer buys back. They know now is the time to strike, as everybody's lagging apparently. But 2-for-1 in that exchange, Darkseer died, but he just buys back. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter Shadow Demon did take the fall. Eclipse was used. So really unfortunate team fight for Root. as unstable servers being called. Luxembourg, why do you troll us? But go is the call by Korea and by AL. But you can see Experience Graph taking a heavy swing towards Absolute Legends. Net worth still on the side of Luna, but now gold per minute starting to spiral a bit out of control for the Shadow Fiend as he's able to survive, which is the most important factor in all these games. Meanwhile, Monkeys has only died twice, but they've been long duration deaths. He has died for a long amount of time. Mania's gonna have Echo Slam in about 50 seconds. This tier 2 tower will die. I don't know if Root can actually defend this, because they have a strong ganking lineup, they have a strong team fight lineup, and, well, not really as strong as AL. And they have a strong late game lineup, but they don't really have good anti-push, or really a solid way to initiate a team fight, as AL just gonna take complete advantage of that, as they are able to escape very, very easily. But still, Luna's farming all the while, has Met style completed, but will she be caught in the forest? She is. Mania gonna spy a wild Luna, as here comes the Shadow Blade. Monkey's gonna BKB Manta split out there nicely, but still does take the fall. What duration? I think that was a 9-second charge of BKB used as well on the Luna, as Gyrocopter might get initiated on. No Unicorn XOXO, very low on mana, so he's gonna have to back out right now. And here comes the push in by Absolute Legends. They still have the Echo Slam. I'm sure they still want to push in. Mechanism is going to be used. Shadow Fiend pretty low in terms of mana. Arcane Boots on anybody. It doesn't look like it. Miracle just going to ward up. Actually, everybody on the side of Ale pretty low in terms of mana, or at least the two main carries. But TA does have a DD rune in her bottle. And will she rub Root the right way? As track going to be used on Unicorn XOXO. Miracle takes a missile right to the face, but he just shrugs it off. Missile, so laughable. As here comes a vacuum in. Taku gonna get that stun off with the Spike Carapace. BKB used by Unicorn XOXO, taking a bunch of damage. I think it might be time for the Absolute Legend squad to back off, but Mania, it's going to be a trap. Call down going to be used. Unicorn XO is going to evaporate, but he had the Aegis, nicely done. But I'm just waiting in the woods for Mania to go back in, vacuum, and the Ion Wall is going to be used. And will Absolute Legends try to overcommit for the Raxano? Looks like they are going to back off. It might be a bait, as Missiles is going to fly in. And AL, I think they know they have Root a bit on the ropes. They're trying to stick around, trying to win this engagement. All eyes are on Mania at this point, or at least my eyes are on Mania. But AL is going to retreat. But no, Root actually wants to take the fight to AL, as they're going to smoke up very aggressively, trying to get some map control. And will AL take the bait? Can Root make anything happen? Shallow Demon a little bit over half HP. AL seem to sense something's up, as Crit is going to get initiated on with the missile, but again, no proper form of initiation, no blink stun. And here comes the Fisher blocking everybody up. Will Mania blink back in? He's waiting for it. He's waiting for it. Eclipse going to be used, as Monkey's trying to do as much damage as he can, but unfortunately Eclipse was used a lot of the time. Mania is going to get initiated on by the Gyrocopter. So far, 0 for 0 engagement, but Eclipse was used. But two BKB carries were just slapping at each other. As here comes the Impale trying to catch Mania. They are going to kill Mania. I do think he's going to cast Fissure trying to escape out of there, but he is going to take the fall. So I don't know if that smoke was necessarily worth it. Actually it was, because they got a mega kill streak up on Mania. But meanwhile, Dive It just farming up the bottom lane. Root definitely needed to make that happen. They were losing so much momentum. Probably needs to get that kill, not only for momentum, but also for morale. Just showing, okay, we can try to fight Absolute Legends on relatively even terms, because all the ultimates were up. And Root were able to survive the engage at the very least. And keep in mind, Bounty Hunter has pretty much done nothing this game, so things can only go up for Blocks here. Not really through any fault of the Bounty Hunter player, just the fault of like the hero in the game situations. But meanwhile, the graphs, huge advantage for Absolute Legends. Levels, huge advantage of Absolute Legends. 3 heroes have yet to pick up their level 2 ultimate on the side of Root, and that's really going to come back to haunt them. I mean, it's okay if Rubik doesn't really pick up his level 2 ultimate, but he's going to get it relatively soon as well. And I think AL, knowing that Root might just crumble after the next push, they're going to push back in. And meanwhile, what items do we have up on both sides? Smoke Deceit being used. Crit has that Crystallis Shadowblade Manta picked up by the Shadow Fiend. Mechanism Darkseer is banking a lot of gold. I'm not too sure what he's going to go for. Maybe something for like a straight up Aghanims could be the proper call. But Korea and Luna are quite farmed as well due to their really successful early game. As here comes Unicorn XOXO. 9, 1, and 3, but only that 5-second BKB charge remains on it, as it has been used very, very frequently, but been used effectively. He's only died once. Meanwhile, Korea trying his best to split push. Can they finally clean up this tier 1 mid tower? I think he's going to be able to kill this, but will he be able to teleport back in time to get a successful positioning to cast that call down? Or will the Vacuum Echo Slam combination wipe out his teammate? We're going to find out very, very shortly. Rack's going to take a bit of damage. Illusion Rune going to be used as the Manta Styles are going to be popped as well. These Racks are going to take the fall unless something happens. Taku does initiate with that Requiem, or with that Impale, but here comes a Requiem. Meanwhile, Mania still positioning himself, but still just the powerful right click of everybody. But here comes Echo Slam by Mania, who's just waiting for the right moment to strike in, and he picks up an instant triple kill. I think his dagger was just constantly being disabled by the gyrocopter flat cannon, as that was doing a really nice job. But still, triple kill being picked up, but it looks like Root gonna deny the racks because the Dark Illusion was gonna pick it up. Oh man, that was pretty funny by Taku. As he never really wanted to deny the racks. But I guess he had no choice. I don't think he could have killed the Dark Illusion. He had to impale and then deny the racks. Definitely don't see that happen, but again, Mania was like Jaws, just waiting to strike. And he finally picked up a triple kill. As I think he waited a bit too long, as his Shadow Fiend did die. But still. No, Shadow Fiend survived, so never mind. Waited for the right moment to strike, and he did so successfully. So how will Root stand against the pressure of one lane down? They do have very, very strong split pushers who can clear out creep waves very, very easily. Call down going to be used. Korea trying to escape desperately. Crit going to go back in. Going to pop BKB as well, but finally the damage is going to come through from the Bounty Hunter and Shadow and just King. They actually can't do anything. Here comes Mania and his allies. Fun is going to take the fall. Will Taku escape? He did pop Vendetta. Bounty Hunter dies as well. Gem is up on the side of Absolute Legends. Fun is going to die, but Taku precedes him in that regard. Can he pick off Miracle at the very least? He does so successfully, but 4 for 1. And I think Root have finally started to run out of gas. Mania is dominating. I think Unicorn XOXO is godlike. No, it's Crit who's godlike. And I think Root are finally going to die after having a really successful early game, but their mid game just couldn't match up to Mania and his team. Shadow Fiend, I think, really played really fantastically. Darkseer played well as well. But unfortunately, I think a lot of it does have to come down to once Bounty Hunter hit level 6, Absolute Legends were just not able to be ganked. They just constantly stayed together, played pretty much 4 or 5 man Dota, and just that's the best way to deal with the Bounty Hunter. They just had Crit farm up and just stuck as 4, and Bounty Hunter and NA really couldn't make anything happen. So 5 man Dodo, best Dodo. Checking out the net worth again, huge advantage for the Radiant. Checking out the GPM, Shadow Fiend approaching that 600 GPM mark very, very shortly. This Roshan, it is going to be contested by Root. This is their last shot. They know it, but the double damage by TA means an easy Aegis for the Shadow Fiend. Eclipse is going to be used, but here comes the Requiem of Soul is going to be used as well. Darkseer does take the fall, as Unicorn XO is going to die to the Relentless output. So Root still has some life in them, as I'm not too sure what Monkeys was doing. Was the Aegis never picked up? No, Shadow Fiend did pick up the Aegis. I guess it was just a bait, but I'm not too sure why he was just running away, maybe to escape from the Darkseer illusion. But still, Luna did die, was forced to buy back, as NA is going to die as well. Monkey's going to be thwarted in his endeavor to save his teammate. And 3 people are dead once again. Echo Slam is up. The last hurrah, the last defense of the Dire base is going to come very, very shortly. The Dire do have enough time to respawn, but can they do so successfully? That is the question. As there is a pipe and null field, so Eclipse doing negligible damage, as well as call down at this point. because of that null field and because of the pipe call down. Gonna fly in 4 pipe C's, but Korea taking a bunch of damage right off the bat. He's gonna die. Fun is gonna roam in. He's gonna poke his head out a little bit too far. He's gonna die as well. Gyrocopter forced to buy back. GG's called by Fun, as this game, just a relentless assault by AL in the mid game, means the end of Root in this fashion, as Echo Slam one last time by Mania, able to pick up that 11th kill. GG's called all around, as that was a pretty entertaining game, but it was one-sided once AL started playing 5-man Dota, and that's what you have to do against gank strategies. Just never be alone. And if you are alone, make sure it's a bait. Because if you just play 5-man Dota, you can just get out experienced, out farm. But they just baited heroes like the Darkseer, heroes like the Templar Assassin. And AL did a successful job counter-ganking, or Mania +4. So hopefully, this is a sign AL picked up an Academy Dota team, as hopefully the AL Dota squad continues to flourish, or at least continues to maybe pick up stable members, as I do think Mania has been very unlucky with this team. But hopefully he can get back in there, because I'm sure everybody misses him. But thank you for watching as usual. Not the best cast after, I think, pretty solid casts these past couple of days, but yeah, hopefully you still enjoyed it nonetheless. My name has been B-Ball, and thanks for watching this match from the Defense 3. If you want an alternative VOD, check out joindota.com. Toby, I'm sure, did another fantastic job casting this game. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.